Hi, folks. Welcome to Curtis Goes Corner. Are you tired of all the progressives and leftists constantly whining, arguing, and protesting? Are you sick of their bull? Do you wish they would just shut up? Shut up! Do you want unfiltered commentary? Well, you've come to the right place. Curtis Goes Corner. Progressives, this is your trigger warning. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Curtis Goes Corner. Fox Business. President Trump signs COVID relief government funding bill. The president also sent a red-line version of the bill to Congress. And they shows Schumer, Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell. No comment. Not sure. We need that money or we close. There was an interview with Maria Bartiromo, who I think the world of. She's great. Her and Martha McCallum are my two favorites, actually, on Fox, but don't tell anybody. I know they're both married, so I don't want their husband as a good man. 5 days after calling the coronavirus relief bill a disgrace, which it is, President Trump signed the massive $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief and government spending package Sunday night. The president's decision to sign the package into law will avert a government shutdown, restore unemployment benefits, stop evictions, provide rental assistance, additional funding to the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program, and invest in vaccine distribution, among the other items in the bill. It's there's a lot in there, folks. What is it, 5,000 plus pages? Here's some tweets. Judd Deere, President Ariel Donald Trump has signed H.R. 133. About the relief of the emergency, but this is interesting. As president, I have told Congress that I want far less wasteful spending and more money going to the American people in the form of $2,000 checks per adult and $600 per child. So what Pelosi did? She did a unanimous consent vote, which means anybody that one person says nay, it fails. So she just added the money from $600 to $2,000 without changing any of it. And of course, some Republicans and probably some Democrats said no. Knew it was going to fail. She knew. Oh, God, don't get me started. Trump has also sent a red-line version of the bill to Congress, which includes an item-by-item breakdown and formal rescission request, insisting that any wasteful items be removed from the bill. Do you think they're going to take that out of there? Because we don't have a law for a line-item veto. Now, this isn't an endorsement of the Confederate States of America, but oddly enough, the Confederate States of America were huge on states' rights and not central government in their Constitution, and I believe there's others in the world. The president has a line-item veto. I just thought that was an interesting little side note to put in there. Not condoning, of course, the white supremacy and the secession from the Union. But I just thought that was interesting. As president, I have told Congress that I want far less wasteful spending and more money going to the American people in the form of $2,000 checks per adult, $600 per child, Trump said in a statement issued by the White House Deputy Press Secretary Judd Deere on Sunday. Much more money is coming. I will never give up my fight for the American people. On Tuesday, Trump slammed the $900 billion relief bill as a disgrace and claimed it has nothing to do with COVID. A lot of it didn't. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests while spending the bare minimum on the American people who need it, Trump said. Of course they did. So we borrowed $1. We're going to give you 20 cents. And it's not going to be enough. But you have to pay back the whole $1, even though you didn't get 80 cents of it. And if you don't like it, too bad. Take it and shut up. That's basically what happened. The announcement comes to the House is set to vote on the bill Monday that would increase direct payments from individuals to $600 to $2,000. Interesting. In addition to increasing the size of the stimulus checks, Congress has promised. I'm sorry. I know you're in a tough spot, Mr. President. I am a Trump supporter. I'm not going to deny that. But Congress has promised that Section 230, a provision of the Communications Decency Act, which shields social media companies from liability related to third-party content on their platforms, will be reviewed and either terminated or substantially reformed. Well, they'll never terminate it. You have to understand something. They hid behind Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. When Hunter Biden's story broke, Twitter and Facebook just wiped it off their social platforms. 40% of the people that voted after the election were surveyed, and so they do nothing about it. You think they're going to take away that, they're going to lose that power with the money Google and these social media monsters have? Do you think for a minute they're going to give up that power? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But what else could he do? Related third-party content on their platforms will be reviewed and either terminated or substantially reformed, and that the House and Senate have agreed to a lost investigation of potential voter fraud in the presidential election. It's all going to depend on Georgia. If both the seats go to Democrats, there will be no investigation. There'll be no investigation in the Senate. There'll be no investigation in the House on supposed election fraud. There will be no investigation from the DOJ or the Justice Department, which is the DOJ, of course. It won't happen. It's a scam. It's a way to save face. But what was Trump supposed to do? They were winning the media war because these morons control 85% of the media and 99% of social media. I'm sorry, he had to do it. I'm not going to chastise him for it. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell applauded President Trump's decision to get hundreds of billions of dollars of crucial COVID-19 relief out the door and into the hands of American families as quickly as possible. It's like extortion. It's so sad. The bipartisan rescue package that Republicans in Congress and the Trump administration negotiated with the Democrats will extend another major lifeline to workers at struggling small businesses, renew major relief for laid-off Americans, invest billions more in vaccine distribution, sending cash directly to households, and more, McConnell said. The compromise bill is not perfect, but it will do an enormous amount of good for struggling Kentuckians and Americans across the country who need help now. Of course, she's the senator from Kentucky. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham confirmed that Congress will vote on additional stimulus checks and repealing Section 230, calling the moves all wins for the American people. I go back and forth on Lindsey Graham. For a long time, I wasn't a big fan of his. I thought he stepped up to the plate during the Kavanaugh hearings. I'm hot and cold. He's an old neocon, and God, I mean, it's tough for Leopard to change his spots, but we'll see. We'll see. This is the part that scares the crap out of me. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called Trump's decision welcome news for the 14 million Americans who just lost the lifeline of unemployment benefits on Christmas weekend, and for the millions more struggling to stay afloat during this historic pandemic and economic crisis. It's not an historic pandemic. I'm sorry, it's not. We've had much worse. And draconian lockdowns by Democrat governors and mayors contributed. They created this economic problem. Granted, if they didn't create the coronavirus, I get that to all you libtards out there and flat earthers. I get that part. But they exasperated it, and they made it worse, and they destroyed the economy because of one simple thing: Trump derangement syndrome. Period. Everything was to defeat Donald Trump. They didn't care how many millions they hurt or who they destroyed, including their own party, I might add. This relief legislation is a down payment on what is needed to crush the virus. Or shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cut back on my swearing on these videos, but I just can't help it. She's so full of crap. Put money in the pockets of American people and honor our heroes, our healthcare workers, first responders, transit sanitation workers, and teachers. What the hell does a garbage man have to do with this? Nothing wrong. I used to be a city councilman. I know several guys that work in sanitation, Department of Public Works. They're great guys. They do a wonderful job, so I'm not putting anybody down. But what the hell does that have to do with anything? And teachers, by the way, whose union said, hey, we have a lot of power and control. You get to stay home and collect all your money. Meanwhile, suckers like us in New York State, I live in upstate New York, have to pay the worst school taxes and property taxes in the country, except for maybe California. But we're getting close. So thank you, Teachers Union, for screwing us. Pelosi said in a statement, we need to ensure robust support for state and local government to distribute and administer a vaccine, keep workers employed, and prevent devastating service cuts. And we must do so as soon as possible. Yeah, by locking down everything. Now, here's the thing. Everybody thinks that Trump, Congress, the federal government did all these lockdowns. That's not true. They don't have the authority. They never did. Hopefully they never will. It's state by state. But they all worked in tandem. The national level Democrats and the governors in the swing states and high Dem states like California all contributed to the draconian lockdowns. They all worked hand in hand. It's like I have some plumbing problems in my house. I need some pipes replaced. So rather than replace them, I'm just going to burn the house down. And that's in essence what they did. And our republic is hanging in the balance because of these power-hungry idiots. I'm ashamed of them. I was a Democrat all my life. I'm 64. I switched parties in 2013, long before Trump, so it had nothing to do with that. Even though that would have been a damn good reason. I didn't. I saw which way they were going. She had that Trump must immediately call on congressional Republicans to end their obstruction. You know what? You just made a deal, and everybody's happy. Shut the F up. God. I mean, she just can't stand it not taking a shot. Just can't stand it. I'm not even going to read the rest because I'm so pissed right now. I know he had to do it. There'll be no 230. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. There'll be no changes. They won't adjust it so these social media monsters can do whatever they want to and act like publishers without the liability of being a publisher. They have the power. They won the election. Between that and the FRAUD, those two things, and here's the thing, Democrats, between all the FRAUD, because if you say the word out loud, it hits the algorithm, and the social media censorship of information, you guys still only barely won. I think the Democrats won Georgia by 0.2% or something like that. 0.2. And several other states barely, and that's what all the unsolicited ballots out there. You morons think you won. You didn't. You've burned down the country, or at least tried to. You've wiped your ass with the Constitution. Sorry, I swore again. But I can't help it. They wiped their butts with the Constitution. Now they want to burn down the institution that they supposedly represent, the American people they represent in it. You know what? Kiss my behind. I know Trump had to do it. I don't blame him. So at least he did some suggestions on what they would do. And if the Democrats had any brains, which they don't, because Trump derangement syndrome clouds their judgment, they're going to have a Democrat president. They barely held on to the House. The Senate swings in the balance. If these guys had any brains at all, they would take some of the suggestions that the president made, but they won't. They won't do it because it came from him. And that's how stupid and asinine and childish these people are. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.